So welcome to Clark Atlanta University Homecoming 2025. I am Dr. Ovell Hamilton, Morehouse College, Chair of the African Studies History Department, but my first love was the Atlanta University ROTC unit. And today we're doing another legacy video, our second edition for the Atlanta University Center ROTC unit, composed of Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark Atlanta University, and Morris Brown. And today I have my distinguished guests. They're going to tell their stories and the legacy of the unit that they had and the impact it had on their lives. And so first I'd like to start with Bernard on the end over here. Just firstly, introduce yourself and then tell how you came to this great Atlanta University Center ROTC unit.
All right. My name is Bernard Jones. I graduated at Clark Atlanta University in 1996. I came from the BOOST program, stands for Broadened Opportunity for Selection Training, out in San Diego. I selected Clark Atlanta University based on Master Chief Hutchinson coming to do a visit, and he had two students with him, and they seemed pretty locked on and wanted to be a part of a good unit.
Very similar experience as Bernard here. I was the first class in Newport, Rhode Island for the BOOST program, and I too met Master Chief in Newport, Rhode Island. He was a very good representation of the experience here, a caring Master Chief, what we think about staff NCOs and senior enlisted leaders, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I chose primarily because of Master Chief, but also I'm from Georgia and I want to be near home, and I found being at Clark Atlanta University gave me all of the tools that I needed while I was here to be successful in my Marine Corps career.
And let me get your name.
Oh, Carl, K-A-R-L, Tenson.
My name is Cynthia Vickery. For myself, I was in Texas for my high school time. Right before my senior year, I was going through some tough time, and I made the decision that I wanted to serve. When talking to different recruiters, the only options I told them is like, hey, is either give me college or give me nothing. So the Marine Corps took the bait. So worked with them, ended up getting the Frederick C. Branch Scholarship to any of the HBCUs. And then when going through the list, I honestly haven't heard of too many of the HBCUs. But my mother, she loved Spelman, heard great things about Spelman, so that's where she pushed me. So I've been in this career ever since.
I'm Lieutenant Junior Grade Henry Streeter. I actually went to Clark Atlanta University. I didn't do ROTC. I did direct commission through OCS right after college. But what brought me here was Bernard. We served together, and we have oftentimes worked together and done volunteer work. So outside of my regular everyday job in the Navy, I wanted to give back to my school, my community, and everything. So this was a great reason to come back to school and keep serving.
I'm Charles Orgbon, 2000 graduate of Morehouse College. I entered Morehouse in '96 through the MECEP program. I was a Marine at the time, stationed in Camp Lejeune, and I ran into Lieutenant Stacy Taylor. I'm originally from South Carolina, so I was going to go to the University of South Carolina, Clemson, but he told me about the Morehouse NRTC unit. I took a trip down here one weekend, and throughout the week, fell in love with it, and I applied to Morehouse, and there we go.
I am Lieutenant Jasmine Williams. I graduated from Clark Atlanta University in December 2020, also commissioned from Morehouse NRTC at the same time. I'm from San Diego, California, so HBCUs are not something I see at all, but my mom loved the show A Different World, and that made me want to go to an HBCU. I came and visited Clark Atlanta, wanted to be here so bad, got the scholarship, and the rest is history.
Great. Next question, start with you, Lieutenant. Can you name a person that might impact, or an event that might impact you here as far as your career and everything at the ROTC unit here?
The biggest impact for me while I was here was Lieutenant Raven Stevenson. She was my advisor during my freshman year, and just being able to see another Black woman at the university and being able to teach us just showed me like, hey, I really want to do something like that, because she's able to be a lieutenant, so that means I'll be able to make it through the program and get through it and be where she's at one day. So she's been was my biggest inspiration while at the unit. Second being Master Chief Hutchison, just always being there for us. And he's been here forever, and just being able to just be an inspiration as to stand and test, join the best. So, yeah.
For me, there was no one particular person. It was a community, a network of friends. Some that's here, Keistella and Carl. But when I came here, they just took me in for guidance, counsel, things to do, things not to do, and that helped me out while I was here.
So the great community was your old impact.
Correct.
Nice. Digi?
I would say the person is Bernard for bringing me here, bringing me in on this, and I appreciate it. And then the event today, being invited, being a panelist, giving my experience and answering some questions for the midshipmen, that was amazing. I wish I had that 4-5 years ago as well, so that was amazing.
For me, was the challenge that it offered. First coming into the program, one of the things that I was told just for my initial thing was, hey, you have an 85% chance of not making it through the program. And that's just been, I was 94 pounds, I'm a Marine option, the packs weighed more than me, so automatically I already had those things against me. So to me, you know, going out and giving my 110 every time, it just challenged me to not be that 85%. So I took the challenge, and I'm still taking the challenge to this day.
Yeah, I wish I would answer questions first, because I got to agree with Chuck on this one. It wasn't one person. It was a community of people, much like we all were taught when we were young, to surround yourself with positive people, but people that are smarter than you are, folks that have a vision for their own life, because it directly and indirectly affects you. So much like Chuck, Keistella, and many of the other Marines that chose to come to Morehouse College or ROTC and the AUC here, I found a new tribe that pushed me to meet my full potential. So that was the biggest impact for me, because I think I established a whole new foundation for being a professional in the military because of being around guys like them here and seeing folks that put forth their best foot and prioritize what was important in life. So that was good for me.
How can I follow up with that answer? But I would say while I was here, Roger Hardy, he was the freshman instructor and the freshman advisor. He was the reason why I became a surface warfare officer when people were looking at other communities, and I was like, wow, I wanted to be a SWAT. I wanted those same experiences that he had. And he was a great mentor ever since being in the Navy, even afterwards. And like they said before, all the networking continues afterwards. I still talk to Grady Dunn on a weekly basis. Everybody that's in the Norfolk area, I communicate and stuff with Henry and try to pull him in and stuff like that. So it's great. It's a great family to be part of, and that's. I'm happy that I came here. I'm real happy that I came here.
And I'd just like to add to it, I'm being, like I said, a young fella from Arkansas. I grew up chopping cotton, picking cotton with my mom when I was 5 years old. And when I came to Morehouse and Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, the family impact was so great, what y'all mentioned. And it just gave me the idea that if I can survive in those cotton fields, I can survive anywhere. And that legacy of Master Chief, Commander Esme, and all those that, like say Hardy, and all those that went before us, it just inspired me to do my best in everything. And with that, starting with you, Bernard, what would you say how did the unit impact your career choices? And other further things that you want to do?
The unit allowed me my first leadership opportunity. When I was in Boost, I was just a seaman recruit coming through, and you say that you're going to be an officer. But once I actually got to the unit, I was able to apply some of that leadership skills that I observed from other people or the upperclassmen before me. So it gave you that opportunity initially to give you that leadership, leadership skills and leadership opportunities. So yeah.
Yeah. So the unit, being a ROTC, being a member of the ROTC, actually forces you to really prioritize your life, like PT. I remember being in college, and Captain Potter told us, I don't care what time you start your classes. You can start at 8 o'clock if you want to, but we PT 5 days a week. And it really put a focus on, hey, you got to get to bed and get your studies done, get to bed at night so you can be ready to go the next morning. So and the Marines know this, and the Marine options understand this, is that at the time I didn't like it, I didn't understand it, but his focus of making us ensure that we were in shape physically in that pool, remember? That he made sure every African American that left here, and there's a thing in our country where African Americans don't swim. Well, you got to swim in the Navy and the Marine Corps. And he made sure of that. So we had to prioritize our lives on a daily basis and ensure that we were prepared to go to what's called the basic school, TBS, for the Marines. And we all did really well at TBS and further on our career as company grade officers because of the focus and the support and the discipline we developed here at the unit to get up to PT, to swim. And I would say, without a doubt, the Morehouse ROTC unit set us up for success, where eventually I think all of us were able to get our very first choice of MOS because of where we placed at TBS. And that's a direct reflection of, in large part, of our experiences here at the ROTC unit. So the unit really does put you in a good place to have a successful career as a company grade officer. For me, I can certainly say that.
For me, I think what the unit gave me was the mentorship and the friendships. Going through, OCS, TBS, I had two of the other midshipmen as a candidate at the time with me to go through that pipeline. But also once I'm in, the thing that I had is just a phone that I can call somebody on that phone if I ever need advice or guidance or what should I do next with my career. I've only been for a few years, but I haven't seen too many other colleges that does what we do, where we come back, we have panels, we talk to the midshipmen. We had that when I was in the program, and it's incredible to be able to do that. But I don't see any other schools, especially like if I'm walking down, Camp Lejeune, there's another Morehouse person, they saw my tag in my car, it's like, hey, here's my number, call me. You won't get that from any other school other than this one.
And I think, although I wasn't in ROTC, I think the AUC in general instilled servant leadership into me. So that was something I brought out, and it helped me in my career in general, being a mass media major. It was great. I learned a lot of stuff that once I got into the fleet that I literally took from my course load and applied it right into the fleet. So that was great.
Yeah, for me it was two things, leadership and public speaking. We had a class, I was terrified of public speaking, somewhat still is now, but I get in front of the class, or a chance to get in front of the class, give a presentation. I was always nervous, and they were very critical. I think over time, I definitely improved, and that helped me moving forward in my life. As far as leadership, the courage to go for what you want. I think I held almost every billet in the battalion, including the battalion commander, and that helped me when I was in the Marine Corps as well.
The biggest things that this unit has helped me with is getting out of my shell, especially with Clark Atlanta at the time. There was just so few of us, so we really protected each other within the unit, just making sure that we all woke up on time, get into PT early in the morning, making sure that we all kept up our grades. It was just always great to reach out to someone that knew exactly what I was going to be going through. But then going out into the fleet, being able to reach out to those same people and saying, hey, like, how are you doing? Blah, blah, what's a PQS qual that I can help you out with? It's just been great to be able to reach out to people that went through the unit, as well as people that are above me that can also help me out. Because my first ship was the CO was a graduate from Morehouse and ROTC. So being able to have that mentorship anywhere is just great.
Great answers. I'm gonna start with Carl first, and he was the first question. So I was saying, Carl, and not being too political, in this climate we're in now, what suggestions would you have for, recent graduates and also going into the legacy graduates of the foundation that we received from our ROTC unit and how we react to the attack on, Black history and the attack on our units, the attack on the history of our Black units that served in different wars and things like that. How would you give advice on navigating this charged political climate?
Know your stuff. Yeah, the environment in many cases is tough, but know your stuff. As a military professional, an officer, we're supposed to be apolitical, and I expect that that your best way to navigate these waters is to know your stuff. Whatever MOS you've been assigned, whatever job you've been assigned, be the best at it. Do your best to ignore the waters that we're treading right now, because quite frankly, what we're experiencing right now won't last. And after these waters become calm, we will look back on those professionals that did the right thing by being apolitical, knowing your stuff, and not talking about politics at work. Stay away from it. That's the best advice I can give a young company grade officer. If you cannot do that, you probably have to make a decision to probably leave the military. And we are seeing that right now. But as you get your commission and you start your young career, know your stuff. Focus on that. That is the priority. That's what's going to get you through when you are that person that folks are asking you to do more. Because if you are good at what you do, folks are going to ask you to do more. If they're not asking you to do more, you should be concerned. So know your stuff. And that comes to the most basic things that are basic to me now, but as you graduate, writing, Chuck talked about public speaking, reading, understanding policy, not just reading, but reading to comprehend, and that's really important. We don't talk about that enough. People talk about it in dark places, but knowing your stuff in an environment like this will sail you through. And if you find that, personally or your family can't do it, you have to make that decision. That's a very personal one, whether you stay or not. And I know that's not easy. So again, know your stuff.
And I'll piggyback with that, because don't give them a reason to tell you no or say no to you. And how do you do that? You excel. You be extraordinary. You continue to get education, master's degree, PhD, certifications. You continue to build your skills and your skill set, so they don't say no to you. You can't be average. If you're average, you're going to get passed over.
Yeah, the great answers, great answers. I'm going to conclude with the last question. I think I'd say it's more of a personalized question for you as well. What should our legacy be as AUC graduates, African Americans, minorities in this country as well? What should our legacy be as military legacy unit holders, stakeholders, and citizens as well? What should our legacy? And like I say, it's a personal question for you. It's not like there's no right or wrong answer. It's like a personal, in-depth question for you. What should our legacy be?
So yeah, that is actually a good question, but I think something that is probably more important as we think about being African Americans in the armed forces is that you will have a legacy whether you want one or not. And what I mean by that is you're going to have influence on people. As an officer, you're going to be responsible for people. And there is a legacy attached to that, associated with that. And the legacy is that, go back to what I said before, know your stuff, being present, being a professional. You're going to have influence on people. And you should think beyond yourself as you approach your career in the military. Because whether you want to be remembered, you will be remembered. And what you do on a daily basis, how you interact with people, is going to leave a legacy. So that legacy should be one that when you reach back to the mentorship you get here, what you learn here in the classroom, being fit and being an example for others, if you focus on that stuff first, and being a servant leader too, focus on your people, you will have the kind of legacy that I think you want when you leave that day, because we all got to leave the military. That day you leave the military, that legacy should be one that folks remember that you helped others, that you gave back to your community, your small tribe, and you made an impact on the organization that you're a part of. And it goes back to what you were saying. Be that person that, be that leader or that person, that officer, that professional that you are your presence is required. They need you there. So that legacy to me is one that starts with you and reaching back and never giving up on yourself and never letting those that look like you fail. Setting people up for success starts with proper mentorship. That's legacy for me.
It's very good. Hey, you want this seat up here?
I was going to say the same thing.
It's a very heavy question because I'll say when I commissioned, like, I was barely getting through BDOC and then OD phase 1. All I wanted to do was focus on getting my pin, right? But at the end of the day, there's a sailor, there's an officer that's looking up to you that's like, hey, I've never seen a Black woman in that position before. And what is she gonna do with that position? What is she gonna do with that power? Is she gonna do something with it? And you just have all these eyes on you and you have to do something amazing in order to be on the same level as some of your peers. Currently I'm teaching at Tuskegee NROTC and I'm their first Black female instructor. And so that's gonna be their first time interacting with an officer, some of them. And if I'm not giving that good representation, that good legacy for them, it's like, this is what you should strive for, then what's the point of them even finishing the program in the first place? So I want my legacy to be something that future JOs can see of like, hey, I wanna be her one day, just like how I was influenced when I was a midshipman and making sure that that leadership continues through all of the people that look like us.
Definitely on the same lines. Someone always told me, be better than the person before you and the person after you, they should have some big shoes to fill. And that I learned that here at Morehouse. And that I've been doing that my whole career in the military and in my current profession now as a special agent in the FBI.
Much like you both said, I want to use the term again, servant leadership. When you serve people and you lead and you care, it'll drive everything, your career, your relationships, your life. So definitely caring about the person, serving and leading.
For me, the only thing I would add, and I think you guys already touched a little bit as well, is reaching back. Even though like you have your goal, set in front of you to go and be battalion commanders and great things, never forget where you came from and looking back. I remember myself and Lieutenant Williams just a few years ago, we were those midshipmen and you guys were in the panel speaking to us. So now being able, it's such an honor to be able to see the tables change a little bit and you guys passing some of that torch where we in the panels, you guys are, our mentors, and those midshipmen are looking to us to be their close mentors as well. So to me, the legacy that Morehouse brings is one of mentorship. Like this is a brotherhood and a sisterhood that is unmatched.
Like I said, when you go out to the fleet, all the eyes are on you. You're leaving that legacy of an African-American officer in a leadership position. I had a lot of people come up to me and say, hey, how do I do that? How do you get to where you're going? And I helped out quite a few African-American enlisted personnel to become officers. You inspire them by being there and by showing that leadership that you can compete with the rest of them.
Exactly. And just to admonish everyone, I found that in my career as well as an officer, you're being watched.
All the time.
There's people that walk up, I have no idea who they were, no idea where they came from, but they said, I've been watching you. And they would say that. And so you're being watched. So like I say, and when you say maintain that servant leadership and that integrity and that standard that you're doing, those people are watching you. From, like say, and you don't even know it, and they're watching you. So I just encourage everybody, maintain that standard, maintain that high ability, that high standard that that the AUC ROTS has taught us, and like we continue to build upon.
Well, can I close out, because I know we're gonna close. I have to say this one. So this is just something over my 32 years in the Marine Corps. That before that, being here at Morehouse was a part of it. I found that a lot of times folks think that what they have done at a certain phase in their young lives is going to serve them well later. I want to tell you that what I've found is really important is that what got you here won't get you there. And you really need to understand that. We'll over-index on the things we learned to get us to a certain place in life and think that those things, those habits, are gonna get us to the next place in life. Not to throw those out, but build on those things and be very mindful of those things that got you to your one level of success may not be enough to get you to your next level. So take that with you, and by the way, there's a good book called that. You know, it's literally called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So that's my recommendation to young leaders as they matriculate life. So.
And I just want to give everybody else to close a comment as well. If you want to close a comment. It's hard for me to follow.
Mentor to many, so, yeah.
Okay. Any other closing comments? Okay. Well, I'll just take this time to thank you for being the panel, for the second legacy panel that we're going to, put the videographer is going to gather this up and we send it out. I think we did it on YouTube last time as well. But thank you all for your candid answers, your honest and just uplifting conversation. I mean, I enjoyed everyone, and like I say, we look forward to doing this again next year.
Yeah.
Next year. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being part of this homecoming. And again, happy homecoming, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy homecoming. Thank you.